Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to study more about environmental biotechnology. So let's get started. So previously we studied about marine habitat and all of its structures, and we have gone through depth in studying about marine habitat. So let's start with abiotic components of an ecosystem. So till yesterday we studied about biotic components of ecosystem, and today we are going to study about a biotic component of ecosystem. So starting with that, we all know the abiotic conditions, which can be majorly temperature, light, soil, salinity, water availability, pH, nutrients, and exposure to winds or waves. And basically it's an interaction between living things and environment. An organism interacts with biotic factors and abiotic factors that control its population size. Moving on with this, we're talking about temperature, which is the first factor. So life mostly exists between 0 to 50 degrees Celsius, and it's an optimal temperature for enzymes to function. So the universal temperature can be said to be around 0 to 50 degrees. So everything works between these temperatures. So influence rate of respiration, metabolism, and water absorption. Also poikilothermal or cold-blooded and homeothermal require specific temperature to survive. Spelling mistake I see. Yeah. So also talking about the second factor, which is the sunlight. Sunlight is the powers photosynthesis. So sunlight is the essential part for having photosynthesis, and it triggers seasonal events, and it helps in the formation of vitamin D, which regulates the quantities of calcium and phosphorus. Alright. So moving on to the factor, which is the water. So water is something that is definitely a necessity for every other thing required. So it's a necessity for digestion, absorption of food, supply of oxygen and nutrients. Also it affects all vital cell functions and cell structures, affects morphology and physiology of organisms. So coming to the fourth factor, which is humidity. So humidity is the water present in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor, which is called atmospheric humidity. The sources can be evaporation and transpiration. Also after affects basically humidity affects transpiration, evaporation, condensation, and growths of several plants like orchid, mosses, and lichens that depend on atmospheric humidity for the requirement of moisture. So on with this. Also, talking about humidity, it is expressed in different terms. So it can be expressed in three relative terms, as you can see: the specific humidity, absolute humidity, and relative humidity. The specific humidity is the amount of water vapor present per unit weight of air. Absolute humidity is the amount of water vapor present per volume of air at saturation. So this is per unit of weight, per unit weight of air. This is per unit volume of air, and this is the amount of water vapor actually present in air and expressed as percentage of the amount which the air can hold at saturation at the existing temperature, and this is measured by psychrometer. So this is the relative humidity is measured by psychrometer, and the specific and absolute humidity we just went through. So these are the three terms in which humidity can be expressed. So next we have soil. So talking about soil, which provides home for many animals that live underground, such as earthworms and many sort of worms that are present underground. Also it provides nutrients to the plants to grow and to survive in harsh or under optimal conditions. Also talking about the next term that we have here is the ecotone. So what is ecotone? So ecotone is basically a transitional area between two biomes where two communities meet and integrate. So example of an ecotone would be a forest and a grassland. So basically sometimes a forest and a grassland may combine or merge together to form a region which is known as ecotone, where communities of different regions meet and integrate. So basically they may contain some organisms which are abundantly found in this zone, that entirely different from that of adjoining communities are known as edge species. So these are some of the edge species that are present, which may be found everywhere, but are different from the adjoining communities, or that are different from the ones that are present in that place, which is known as a edge species. that is present in the ecotone. So sometimes the number and the population density of some of the species is much greater in this zone than either community and is known as the edge effect. So where in ecotone, so some of the species or some of the communities of species may be greater in population, which is known as the edge effect. So talking about more about ecotone that I have a picture for you as well. So this is a transitional area or zone between two adjacent biomes or ecosystem where two communities meet and integrate. So example of a forest and a grassland, as you can see. So this is a land ecosystem, this is an aquatic ecosystem, and this is a combination of the two, as you can see. So the water is not much deep, and the land, as you can see in the beside area. So basically the two transitional, this is the point where all the both ecosystems meet, and this point of merging or meeting of two ecosystems is known as ecotone, and all the organisms of the land and the marine or the aquatic ecosystem meet and integrate. All right, so this was the ecotone. So talking about some more terms of it, sometimes as we have just studied about the edge effect, so which can some species may be present in abundant quantity. All right, so which is known as the edge effect. So they may contain some organisms which are definitely present in these, which is known as the edge species. So edge species also we just went through edge effect and edge species. So talking about these edge species, so edge species reach better tolerance limit, such as with salinity, temperature, water level, and competition. Such as example as mangroves. So mangrove is definitely it's a hybrid of two ecosystems which can be marine and terrestrial habitats. All right. So mangroves can definitely are very much tolerant to most of the biological conditions. Also, we have amphibians which tend to live in ecotones and return to water for breeding. So yes, definitely amphibians such as frogs and many other toads and all, so which live in two ecosystems, which survive in two ecosystems very easily. So talking about importance of ecosystem, so what are the importance of it related to it? So in this basically the maximum exchange of energy and material in a heterogeneous landscape takes place. Animal moves across them obviously, and indicators of climatic shift, vegetation shift, human disturbances are observed, and acts as a refuge for species under changing climate. And it has higher biodiversity found around ecotone regions. It has higher rate of primary production. It can be found at all scales and encourage adaptability and evolution in species. So definitely it has a lot of advantages and not much to say in the other side. So talking about ecocline now. So what is ecocline? So it's a continuous gradient of species or communities along two ecosystems with a gradual change in the environment. So definitely when the two ecosystems meet, so there is a difference in the environment between the two, or the meeting of the two ecosystems cause a change in some sort of environment, which can be temperature, pressure, or anything, or which can be release of more moisture or anything related to environmental change. So which is the ecocline. And talking about another term which is the ecotype or ecospecies, which is a distinct rare within a species which is genotypically adapted for a specific environmental conditions. So these sort of organisms survive in those particular conditions only. So talking about the ecological successions, so the gradual transition in the species composition or ecological community over a duration of time in a given area is called ecological succession. So definitely these are very easy things. Definitely, as you can see, the gradual transition in the species composition or ecological community over a duration of time in a given area is called ecological succession. So basically the adaptability of these organisms in these environment or in these ecotone areas is known as ecological succession. There are two types of succession which can be primary or secondary. So primary successions are series of community changes which occur on an entirely new habitat which has never been colonized before, so bare rocks, new created reservoirs. And secondary successions whereas include series of community changes which takes place on a previously colonized, such as land cleared by forest fire. So these are some of the changes that we observe in these parts which can be known as ecotone or ecocline or ecotype. The information that I could provide you about ecotone under ecotone. So let's just keep this video till here. I'll be back with another video very soon. So stay tuned and thank you for watching this video.